My name is Jarrett Mellenbruch, and my pronouns are he, him. I'm a third-generation beekeeper with a lifelong passion for nature. In my art practice, I explore the correlations between the natural environment and human behavior. One of my signature projects, Haven, is an ongoing installation of living beehive sculptures, specially designed to promote the well-being of their honeybee inhabitants. Placed in parks and green spaces across the country, Haven provides habitat for wild honeybees, supports genetic diversity, collects valuable scientific data, and promotes public awareness of the fragility and importance of pollinators. My practice also includes collaborative projects, like the Virtual Vector Laboratory. This international, multi-institutional, cross-disciplinary initiative gathers and interprets field data to map insect-borne disease vectors throughout Latin America. The resulting proof points are currently being enlisted in public health and education efforts in Brazil and Mexico. My creative capital project, entitled the Redwood Preserve, is a monumentally ambitious, large-scale land artwork. It counters the terrifying rapidity of climate change and habitat loss with the millennia-long timeline of ancient forests. There is no one silver bullet solution to environmental cataclysm, but our best hope lies in the concept of multi-solving, concentrating our efforts on singular systemic actions that have compounding widespread impacts. Actions that can help reverse course, not just pump the brakes. Of the 100 most effective ways to combat climate change proposed in Paul Hawken's authoritative bestseller Drawdown, number 1 is the protection and restoration of forests. And of all the forests in the world, the Redwood Forests of California are by far, in fact, by a multiple of 3, the most effective at removing and storing carbon. The oldest redwoods alive today sprouted 3,000 years ago, but the gold rush of the 1850s introduced untrammeled clear-cut logging, and relatively few of these elder trees survived. Tens of millions of ancient redwood giants were felled, wiping out nearly all the vast old-growth redwood forests. Today, only a tiny fraction, a precious 5%, remains of the original 2 million acres of old growth. These remnants are still with us thanks to their preservation by conservationists who understood their awesome majesty must be preserved. In recent decades, their prescience has been all the more affirmed, for it is now clear that the California redwoods, with their unparalleled capacity for ecological restoration, are far more valuable than gold. Fortunately, these conservancies continue to protect that last treasured 5%, but as we all know, mankind is at a critical inflection point, perhaps the critical inflection point of our epoch. Far more needs to be done, much faster, at far greater orders of magnitude. Thus, the Redwood Preserve, a radically bold, radically simple proposal that commercial redwood logging should be stopped and all previously logged redwood forests be restored. The vast majority of redwood habitat is owned by logging companies who harvest juvenile trees for lumber well before they can reach maturity. These industrial tree farms have little in common with the colossal, abundantly diverse and complex forest ecosystems that once thrived there. Redwood habitat is limited to select coastal and mountain areas of California, meaning that the forests with the greatest possible climate impact sit squarely in the backyard of Apple, Google, Airbnb, YouTube, Netflix, Tesla, and on and on. The same plainly obvious, seemingly improbable disruption that launched these Silicon Valley companies drives the Redwood Preserve, but in service of our planet's survival. It's an enormous mission, a moonshot. So my ask is simple. Join me. I'm one person, and this is just a framework. I need partners and teammates, organizations, investors, leaders with capacity and passion. Contact me. Read the white paper on my website. Step up, and let's get started. A project this big requires massive buy-in, committed, purposeful buy-in, resources, and work on a meaningful scale. The Redwood Preserve returns us to deep time and deep ecology. It harnesses their power and the immense healing that the earth can bring itself if we allow it. This is the way. When it comes to our shared planet and our shared future, we are all stakeholders.